Hi, hello.
Hey everyone.
Hi. Hi, Vittorio. How are you?
I'm good, excited being here.
I'm excited too. Hello, everybody. We're starting the all session today about Rasa training. I can see that we have some folks around the globe. We have someone from Brazil, Canada, and Tunisia, and we have more people coming in. My name is Caio. I'm going to be leading this session, and I'm here with Vittorio on my left
Hey
as well.
everyone.
And we're going to do and run a Botsociety slash Rasa workshop with you. And I'm going to give just 1 or 2 minutes before we start. And I just would like to remind everybody, if you have any questions or would like to say something, please just use the live chat. We're going to try to make this as interactive as possible. Me and Vittorio, we're going to be here. I'm going to be leading this session, and Vittorio is going to be with me on the backstage. And yeah, I don't know if Vittorio would like to say something before we start. Otherwise, we can just jump into it.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So I'm going to put you on the backstage. And then I'm going to bring my screen here. And I would like to welcome everybody again. So today, the workshop, I'm going to be looking on this direction because my monitor is right over here. So today is going to be a really quick workshop, about 30, 40 minutes long, teaching you how to design Rasa training stories with Botsociety. So this is going to be a really hands-on type of workshop. I would like to invite you to join me as I go, or to see this with me directly on Botsociety. So just to share this with you, if you'd like to try this demo with me, and we're going to build this together. So I'm adding this in the chat. And then me and you, like everybody is going to be able to see this file, and then we can interact through it over there. Okay? Let's see if anyone has a question. I can see Nimit. Hi. So I think we are good to go. Perfect. So today we're going to talk about 4 different things. And then we're going to be able to design and prototype with using Botsociety. So the agenda today is we're going to talk a little bit about Rasa stories, and then we're going to do like an intro about Botsociety, what it is and how you can use it for free. And then we're going to design a demo from scratch. And later on, we're going to export this demo and see how the export looks like. And we're going to export using Rasa. So this is not going to be like a Rasa hands-on type of workshop. It's going to be more like a Botsociety hands-on workshop that is going to help you to speed up your development process on Rasa. So what is Rasa Stories? So to tell you what is Rasa Stories, Rasa Stories is basically a type of training data that you can use to train your assistant. And whenever you're developing or designing this, you can think of this as a story, right? You're going to lay out, like you're going to design all the entities and the stories as you think that is going to develop per se. And the story is just as it says on the Rasa documentation. It's basically a representation of a conversation between a user and the AI assistant. So you, as a developer, you would be writing down this code or this story in a really specific format. So Rasa would be able to understand it and then create the dialogue management. And you would be able to have a conversation with your AI assistant. So what we can do with Botsociety is that instead of you sitting down, open your IDE or text editor, whatever you use to write your codes, we can give you a canvas that you can design your conversations, and these conversations can be exported to Rasa, and then you can have something really similar to this, but you don't need to write any line of code. And on top of that, you can also have a really next or really similar look and feel about how the conversation is going to happen in a really particular channel. So for this demo in particular, I'm going to be using the Messenger preset. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about Botsociety. So Botsociety is basically a prototyping tool that helps you to design, export, and create any type of conversations between a chat or a voice assistant. We support many of the major messaging and voice channels. And with Botsociety, you can basically prototype these conversations. And later on, you can export for any other AI NLU engine like Rasa. So the way that you use it is basically we give you like a blank canvas, and you as the designer or the developer, you can just think about the conversations that you and your AI assistant would have. And instead of sitting down and writing everything, you can just think about what's going to be the interaction between the user, which can say something like hello, and the bot, which can also reply something back, which is also something like, hey there. So with this tool, we help you to speed up your creativity and your ideation process because you don't need to write any line of code. You can just think about the conversations and how it's going to develop itself. And you don't need to lose focus trying to be too much technical about it or to think too much about the engineering part of it. And on top of that, we also give you a preview of how these conversations is going to turn out. So you, as the designer or as the developer, you're going to be able to understand it and see it right away. So to use Botsociety is for free. You just need to create an account. You can do it right now. Create an account for yourself. You can even, if you like to, it must be an option on the top left here for you to duplicate this. But for that, I would tell you to wait a little bit because we are going to design some other things here before we continue. Let me see if I have any questions for a moment. I'm going to try to pin this comment here. So whenever someone joins the live streaming, this person is going to see there. So I have a question from Nimit about can we import Rasa project to Botsociety? I'm going to talk a lot about that in the end of this session, but I can tell you right away that you can do the opposite. You can export a project from Botsociety to Rasa right away. But we do offer some import features, but it's mostly CSV import. Can we deploy the Botsociety chatbot on our website? Okay. Okay. Let me start this first, Nimit, and then on the end I can jump in some of these questions. Okay. So perfect. So the agenda today, as I said, I just briefly talk about Rasa story. Now I talk a little bit about Botsociety, and now we're going to build a demo from scratch. So this demo that I'm going to do is going to be an AI assistant that is going to provide you the score for the Paralympics, the 2020 Paralympics that is going on right now. I don't know if you watched the Olympics, which was great. Almost didn't happen because of the pandemic. But right now it's happening, the Paralympics. So many people like to support the Olympics, but they also should support the Paralympics as well. And I don't know if you're seeing the competition that is going on. It's about to be done, to be honest. And what I'm going to design here is basically a chatbot that is going to ask what is the top results or the top leading scores. And you can ask it like a generic question, or you can ask like a really specific question. So to give you an idea about what I'm going to do, I created this small example here. So let me just open this real quick so you have an idea about what we are going to design. It's over there. You can see everything that I'm doing here in my notes. So this is going to be basically a really straightforward conversation that you're going to be able to design and ask your assistant about what is the top 3 countries in the competition, and then you can ask for like a particular country if you like to. The conversation is really straightforward. There is nothing much to add, but I'm going to teach you how you can leverage some of the different things that Botsociety can speed up your creativity and your workflow on that regarding. So we're going to do something really similar to this. And later on, we're going to export this to a Rasa format, a Rasa story, and then you're going to be able to see something like this. So this is the exported version of that conversation. And here you can see pretty much everything that comes on this file that Botsociety gives you. We give you the endpoints, the domain, the configuration file, everything in the Rasa format, open source format. And here we can see some of the NLU stuff, which are basically the intents with the examples that we provided. And here is what we are looking for, which is the stories, right? We have some stories here. Here's for the welcome path, and there's a welcome path and the search country, which is basically these ramification here on the right. So I'm showing you from the end what we are going to design in this workshop. Let's start this. Let me just take this out and have it as some of my notes. So the first thing that we need to understand here on Botsociety is basically how to design a conversation. So as I told you, let me just move this around. My table here. Where are you? Okay, you're here. So as I told you, Botsociety is going to help you. I don't know why okay, perfect. So Botsociety is a design tool that helps you to speed up the way that you're going to design things. And then it's going to be exported for like an NLU engine. To design anything, you can just use the canvas. To create a new path, you can just right click anywhere. And then you're going to see some options to either create a path, to create a conditional block, to add nodes, and then you can do some other things, but we're not going to cover on this workshop. These little things here on the left, these are nodes. So I added this. You can add it in a path anytime. And to design a conversation, you need to create a new path. For this example here, I already have a path, but I just give you an example about some of the messages that I can add there. So let's just change this conversation a little bit, and then let's design like I did in the other case. So the first interaction that we need to think is that the user is going to start the conversation. The user can say hi, hello, or anything else to start the conversation. And then the bot's going to reply back with a message like greeting the user. And then it's going to tell the user what is the main reason of that bot, or how that bot can be helpful for the user. So me, as a conversation designer, I can be just designing this conversation and then laying out the conversation that I think that on this particular scenario would be great. So here, the user say hello, the bot says hey there, and then the bot can say right away something like, I can help you to know more about the medal score of the Paralympics 2020. Are you watching the games? And then the user can reply something back, something like, yes, I am watching the games. And then the bot can just go to the conversation, like to the main prompt that is going to lead the user to the main thing that the bot can help the user with. So the bot can say something like, awesome. What score? Okay. What score would you like to know? you can ask me things like top 3 countries or total medals of USA, something like that. So this is actually a good practice to provide some tips or hints about what the user should say to the bot, because sometimes the user is going to reply just the way that we provided. Like we give the hint, and then the user is going to reply back with the tip that we provided. So here I can say something like, I'm thinking that this is going to be the best use case, right? The happy path, as we call. And then the user is going to reply back something like top 3 countries. And then on this scenario, the bot's going to reply back with the answer of the top 3 countries leading the competition are the top 3 countries leading the Paralympics 2020. And one is China with 122 medals. Second is Great Britain with 27 medals. And here is the Russian Paralympic Committee with 22 medals. Hey, Kyle, but this is not really like numbers, right? No, this is not really the numbers. This is just me as a conversation designer thinking about how the conversation is going to turn out. Of course, to bring this data, like live data, we would need to have like a developer to sit down and develop these integrations to pull these live data from, I don't know, from the Olympics database, pretty much. Probably there is an open API for that. But yeah, the job here is basically me thinking about these conversations and then designing this. And then I can later on export and then do the real thing in another platform, one other place. So this is basically my happy path, the main use case that I would like to see it. So I'm going just to press play here so you can have a sense about how things are. I'm drinking coffee, by the way. I don't know what time is it in your country, but it's like 4 p.m., 4:21 here in São Paulo. Oops, there is a typo here. Let's score. Perfect. Let me just fix this typo here. Or dinner time. Okay, I can see some questions coming now. Yasmini, I'm going to address this question from Yasmini about intents and actions in a moment, okay? It's dinner time in the UK. Perfect. So I think you have an idea, right, about how this conversation is going to develop. There are some other things that I need to design, or I can design if I would like to. For example, here, when the bot says something like, you can ask me things like top 3 countries or total medal of the USA, I can design like a side path or like a repair path that is going to be about the second use case, which is the total medal of a particular country. So for this, I can call this as a secondary path, but for the sake of this example, I'm going to call this as a search total country, which is about the total medals of a particular country. And here, I can say something like, so since I am Brazilian, I'm going to say something like, how is Brazil doing? Something like this. And then the bot can say something like, Brazil is the number 6 with 42 medals in total. Right now, it has, and I can write it down, like 14 gold medals, 11 silver medals, and then 17 bronze medals as well. So these for me in particular, this is like a secondary path of the main path. And then I can, usually whenever we're designing conversations, it's a good practice to think about some parts of the conversation that the user can say something that is kind of going to, break the bot. So it's a good practice to think about these secondary paths for your conversations. So let's see this in action right away. So, hello. Hey there. What score? And here, Botsociety is going to ask me the scenario, which is going to be something related to the user, right? So I'm going to go to this one. How's Brazil doing? And then the bot's going to reply the message. So right now, I just have only two paths. And me, oops, let me just remain this welcome path. Right now, I just have two paths, but if I would like to, I can design many other use cases. For example, I can think about another path that is about like a NLU fallback, something like this, which is going to be like a message that the bot can say, like, sorry, I didn't get that, did not get that. Can you rephrase it? And I can also think about all the questions that the user can ask. For example, I'm just creating here all the paths so you can see how you can do this. Let me just zoom in this a little bit. So the user can ask the bot right away something like, who are you? And then the bot can reply something like back like, I am a bot read by Rasa. Yeah, so let's call this bot challenger. So as you can see here, I easily was able to design a really short conversation between a user and a bot. And if I would like to export to Rasa, I just need to change Botsociety to the build mode, which is a wrench icon on the top left. And there, I'm going to be able to select an export format. I don't know, NLU engine that I would like to export. So for this example, for Botsociety today supports many other platforms like Dialogflow, EX, and CX, and Rasa. But we do also offer other places or formats if you'd like to try that out. So we're going to use Rasa. And then I'm going to do something wrong and then tell you how to fix this so you can leverage Botsociety better. So if I just do this and try to export, Botsociety is going to give you a warning sign that is going to tell you that you don't have many utterances for your design and for at least 5 messages that you designed for the user. So on Botsociety, there are a few ways that you can think about how you can generate more utterances for your training data or for your AI model. And also, we can also think about how we can rename the name of these intents and entities as we go. So let's do first think about ways to generate more utterances to the messages from the user. So there are 2 ways that you can do this. The easiest way is basically you as a writer, the writer or the conversation designer or the AI engineer. You can just click here on whatever message the user says. And here you can see that we have just one hello. But you can just click on this 1/1. Actually, this 1/1 shows up pretty much in all the message on the Botsociety, unless you have more utterances. But basically, if you like to add new utterances for any message, either from the user or from the bot, you can just click here on this 1/1 button, and here you're going to have some options to add new utterances for this particular message. So for example, instead of me saying hello, I can just say hi, for example. And then, yeah, but if I just click save it, it's going to save on top of the previous one that I have it, and then just have 1/1. So to add a new one, I just need to click there, go here, utterances, and then click add new. So now, after this green pop up, I can just add a new one. So I can just say hello, and then I can save it. So right away, you're going to see that I have two examples now, or two utterances. If you'd like to add more or change between those, I can just click on those or double click here. And then I'm going to open the text editor as well. Another thing that you can think of it is to consider to use the keyboard to help you with this. So I said, for example, hello. If I press command bracket, it's going to green out again, and I don't need to be typing the shortcuts. If you just click here on the 3/3, you're going to see these keyboard shortcuts here. So we have hi, we have hello, I can say hey, and then I can say another way, something like hey there. So now we have 4 different ways to have the user starting the conversation. So we can think, I think everybody here have designed once a conversation like this. It's a good practice to have many utterances for intent. So we can just think and add new utterances for every message from the user, pretty much. So here, this is an affirmation from the user. Instead of having just like, yes, I'm watching the game, the user can say something like just yes, or the user can say something like, yeah. Or the user can say something like, I'm watching every day. It gives you the idea that the user is, watching the game. Yeah. And then we can think about different ways of asking things. For example, the top 3 countries, for example, could be something, instead of just having these utterances, I can just think about different ways of expressing this intent, or expressing the intent of wanting to know the top 3 countries. So instead of having just this, I can just say something like, can you tell me the top 3? Or another way of saying this is just to say like top 3, or who is leading the score, or how is the or how is the scoreboard, something like this. So these are examples of different ways of asking the top countries in the scoreboard. The same goes, for example, about asking about Brazil. Like I can express this intent in different ways besides of only just like how is Brazil doing. I can say like just total matter. Oops. So I need to add a new intent, and then I can say like total medal of Brazil. Total medal of Brazil. I can also say total, what's the position? Brazil in the scoreboard. Something like this. Now we have 3 utterances. So this is basically me writing down all these utterances. And I, as a person, I am generating these utterances. If I would like to invite other people like you can also help me to generate these utterances with organic examples. So on Botsociety, for example, if you go here on the prototype mode, it's the second option from the top left. If you click there, you're going to see an option called invite testers on the top right. So if you click on these invite testers, you're going to be able to invite people to test your bot, and you're going to be able to collect the data from the users and use it as training data. So just as an example, here you can try this design and generate organic examples. So I'm sharing with you in the chat, so you can try this in a moment if you like to. But I can also test by myself. So if I click here on test yourself, I'm going to open a test version of that, the same conversation design that I just designed it. And me as a user, I'm not going to have access to the conversation here, as you can see it. I'm going to just see the phone. And then I can just have a conversation with the AI assistant as I would have if I was a user. So I can just say things like, hi. So hey there, I can help you to know more about. I can say, yes, I am. Awesome. What score would you like to know? You can ask me things like top 3 countries or total medal of the USA. I'm going to say top 3 countries. Please. And then Botsociety is going to ask you which way to go. Please note, this is not actually like a NLP. Botsociety is not doing any NLP or any processing behind the scenes. We're just creating like a structured test version. It's like a Wizard of Oz. It's just like you behind the curtain. You're going to be able to guide your user to go to the way that this person should go. So since my question was related to the scoreboard, I can just click on this one. And then Botsociety is going to bring me the question like it would have if this was like a real thing. So I can see there is a question here from, I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrong, Joko. This person's asking, can you invite anyone to do the testing, or must he or she have a Botsociety ID? No, it doesn't need to have a Botsociety ID. You can invite anyone. You just need to go here in the prototype mode and then click here on invite testers and then copy this link. One thing that is important to know, though, is that your design needs to be available for anyone with the link. If the like you're testing now, I think that many of you can see this design, right? So if you have this only with the people with access, your users or external users, they're not going to be able to have access. As long as you're sharing with them the prototyping link, the invite testers link, the user is going to be able to only see a tester version of your design. So the great thing about Botsociety is that with this testing that you do, you can also check the data from your users, organic data, and add this as training data for your Rasa AI model. So here you can see that we have many other examples. Like people say, hi. So this is something that I think is valuable for this. Heya, which is, I think it's funny. Hi, I already added, so I'm going to discard this. Hola, which is a Spanish version of hello. I'm going to say, this is valuable. And hey, in a different format. This is okay. As you can see here, there is a one person like icon here. There's one utterances pending, and there's 5 of these here below. So I'm going to approve this. Let's go to the next one. So this is, yes, I am. Oh, so there's one person here that asked, what's your name? And I didn't, have this conversation mapped here. So this is a great example of like a real usability testing. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm not going to do something in a moment, but so this is, yes. Another question here. Tell me the time. So what's up? What's up? I like this. This is funny. Let's just finish the other one so we can come back to this. So top 3 countries. I think this is valuable, but it's not related to this particular intent, so I can just discard. And we have some others here, which is top 3 countries, please. And there is a question here. Can you tell me the current time? So you see, when you test with real users, they're going to say things to your assistant that you may not design it first. So it's either up to you to approve and use this data, or to create new path on top of that data. So I created a new path from that one. And here I can just split this path. And now I'm going to have another path to try to address whatever the users say here. So these are not going to be like a starting path anymore. This is going to be, I'm going to call this small talk time now. And here I can say something like, I'm sorry, let me just mute real quick. I'm sorry, I don't know if you could hear, but it was like an ambulance or police car passing by. It was really loud. So after I run this usability testing, I can just be collecting these organic examples from the users, and then I can be adding to my design and use it later on. So here I can say like, right now it's 4:40 p.m. So this is another example that I got it from the user, for example. And another way to also generate data for your designers, but I'm not going to explore here in depth, is that Botsociety has a really cool integration with GPT-3, and you can have OpenAI's GPT-3 testing your conversations and generating like organic / artificial utterances for your design. So whenever you use this functionality, Botsociety is going to share your design or the conversations with OpenAI's GPT-3, and then the AI is going to test your chatbot as a real user would do, and then it's going to generate examples for you. So I'm going to generate here. It's really quick, but just a heads up, I'm not sure what is going to come out from this. So it can be great user like utterances, but can be terrible utterances. So to do this, it's really quick. Share it. Let me just take a sip of water. And now I have all the data's utterances from GPT-3s. For example, the first message from the GPT-3s was "yo," which was funny. The second one was, "Can you tell us the top 3 countries?" Which was a really valid use case, and this was generated by GPT-3, which is really cool. Let's see if I have another one. What else? So this is so this is not a great example. So so I told you how to design these conversations on Botsociety. I told you how to generate different utterances. Now it comes a really important thing, which is about mapping the intents and entities, which I think was a question from Yasmini. She sent it a few minutes ago. So she was asking like, how Botsociety is gonna attribute intents and actions names to those messages. So Botsociety usually is going to see the name of the path that you're designing. I'm sorry, let me just mute for a moment. Another ambulance, I'm sorry for that. So Botsociety is going to see the name of the path that you're designing. And if you don't design it, or if you don't write it by yourself, Botsociety is going to give like a name. So to change this and to see the names that Botsociety is going to give to the intents that you're designing, you just need to change to the build mode. And here, once you click on the range icon, You can see here is the third option from the top left on the left navigation bar. You're going to see here, like the welcome path. Before I name it welcome path was untitled path. So that's why it's untitled path 1, 2, 3, 4. And here you can see all of this. There is also this search total country intent, and there is this both of them. I can rename this and force to be both of them together. I can just say something like search total country. And then Botsociety is going to add this intent to both of them. So so I just renamed this one, for example. And me, I as a conversation designer or the AI engineer can just be using Botsociety to do this mapping, because I don't need to open an editor to do this. So this is going to be fallback. So I'm adding this, I'm sure. Let me see if I have another thing. Yeah, here we have the bot challenge. So it was first untitled, but now it's going to be, let me call this, actually, let me rename this to be more related to this one here. Let me move this here. So this is small talk creator. So build mode. And here, I'm going to say this is going to be my small talk creator intent. So it's going to address this to both of them. And this one goes to this one here as well. Time, oops. And now, sure. So so easily I can just be renaming this as I think this should be. So welcome path, it's going to be, this can be, I can call this as greet. This can be greet. This one can be something like getting started. This can be an affirmation. It can be an affirmation as well. And this can be an intent, which is going to be search top countries. So that's the name of this intent. And this is, I'm going to add for this intent as well. I can also, if I'd like to, I can map entities or variables. This one, for example, I can call this country. Oops. So this is one country name. This one, for example, I can add this to country name as well. And this one, I can call it as country name. Another one here, which is Brazil, I can call this as an entity and call this as a country name. And Brazil here as well, I can call it as country name. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just selecting the test, highlighting those, and Botsociety is going to ask you the name of the variable. And then you can just, select it. So this 122, I can say this is a number. I can just be mapping this, but I think you got the idea, okay? So once I do all of this, I designed my conversation, I named or mapped the intents, I mapped the entities, I feel that I'm ready to export. I can just, come here on the mute. I mean, this can be done real quick, okay? I was just elaborating my thoughts and give you examples and showing different ways of doing this. But with few clicks, you can do this real quick, and then you can export this. So there is 2 messages that we have, not many messages. By the way, I thought that we covered most of the the cases. So this one we have 4, 6, 8, 3. This one is just 1. Oh, this year. So help me. How can I think about different ways of saying this year? Can you help me? So can you tell me the time right now? I can say something different like this. I can say something like, what's the time now? What time is it? These are 2 different ways of saying this. And the creator one, I can say something like, who are you? It's 1. What are you? It's another 1. I don't know. Different way. Are you real? Oh, yeah. So I think I'm ready now. Botsociety is not going to give me any warning. And then once I click on this wrench icon, I can just click on the select Rasa, and then I can just export. So I can select the device to export, which is going to be iPhone, and then choose the export format, which is going to be the Facebook's Messenger export. So once I click export, Botsociety is going to generate a zip file for you. And then you can just open this icon or this file. So just to show you, I'm going to close this one. I'm going to create a new window. Oops. And then I'm going to drop this one here. So this is the file that I just created. And then I can use this as my project, my Rasa project. We use the standard Rasa format. And if you check this on the official documentation, it's going to be really similar. We offer you the endpoints, which is going to be for your test. We offer you the domain, which all the information that we designed there, even with the entities mapped. And here on the data, under the data folder, you're going to find a file, which is the stories YAM format. And here you can see all of this, like the grid, the uter grid inside it, the affirmation, and all their stories as we thought that should have, as we design it on Rasa or on Botsociety. So the benefit here is that you don't need to sit down and write this on your head, because you have a tool that helps you visualize how this is going to look like. And once you're done and ready to export to a different, to Rasa, for example, you can just click on export. And here you're going to have this Rasa story ready to go right away. And you can also do some other customization if you like to. For example, if you go to the build mode again, you're going to notice that you can go directly to any of these paths, but there is also this gear icon here. I think someone asked it here, like, how can I, do we need to create all the paths? Someone asked here. Yeah, I don't remember who asked. But if you go back to the build mode again and look for this gear icon, you're going to be able to specify different things, like the custom action name or like a function in a code. You can set events or add parameters. And then you can also import some code as well to Botsociety. But I'm not going to show you how you can use this here, because I think we are about time. We have about 10 minutes to finish this workshop. But it's really similar to what you do writing the code by itself. So this can be like a great ally for your development process, because it can help you to speed things up, because you don't need to just write the code. You can just see it, how it's going to look like, and prototype right away and test it, even with real users, without needing to deploy your chatbot as well. So I don't know if we have any questions, but I think this is the main thing for this workshop. I know Vittorio is with me in the backstage. I don't know if he's checking the questions as well, so we can jump on some of this. Like there is one from, I'm going to add Vittorio in the over here.
Hey there, live from my kitchen. That's a rare honor.
So we do have some questions here, Vittorio, about the size of the data FAQ.
Yes.
Or how can we import things on Botsociety? There is another one from what's Rasa version for Botsociety, which we use it. Can we go to some of these questions?
Yes. So I'll start from what I'm saying. Nimit asked, if we have a large set of data or FAQs, how will we do that? Which is similar to one of the first questions that I think got asked, which was about importing a Rasa project. So there's a couple of ways with which you can import new data. One of them is importing while you're designing a message, and maybe I can show you that. You can import an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file with just the utterances. Another way is you import a YALM file, which is basically what you would have as a Rasa project. And the YALM file has intent, names, and all the utterances. And in that way, you would import both the intents, the paths, the message from the user, and the utterances. So I'm going to share my screen and give you the intro where this feature is. You can then check out, we provide some examples so you have a good idea. Let me share my screen here. Hopefully my Mac won't be worried about security. Sometimes it does that. That's great. So you should be able to see my tab now. So if you go here on top, you say File, Import CSV or YALM. This is a way to import the complete Rasa NLU format, which allows you to import large amount of data, like that user was asking. If you have more than 300 utterances, I would not import them right now. We will be releasing soon an update that will allow you to go beyond 300. I'm not saying 300 utterances in general in your whole design. I'm just saying 300 utterances for one intent. Then, so I think this was one of the questions. Another way is, I don't want to destroy your design, it's so cool, but I'm just going to add one message to show you the other way. So when you're creating a user message like this, you can click on the three dots here, and then, on the utterances here, and then you can go on import CSV. And this allows you to just, if you have just a Excel spreadsheet with a lot of utterances, you can just import them this way. So there's a couple of ways of importing data. It was one of the questions. I hope I answered it. Should I go to the next one, Kaya?
Please.
All right.
So the second one is about another one. It's about the Rasa version Botsociety uses.
Yeah, so we work with the latest version of Rasa, which I think it's 2 point something, if I'm not wrong, or 3 point something. I may be wrong here. I honestly don't remember. We always use the latest one. Rasa is awesome in that, right? Like it's always updating with new cool things. So yeah, we work with the latest version for sure. If you're interested in an older version of Rasa, we've been working with them for the last, say, 1 year and a half. So I'm not sure like how old your Rasa can be, but for sure you can use the latest one. If you need to use an older version of Rasa, which is very, very old, like, yeah, 2.8.3 is going to work for sure, that you posted in the chat. If you want to use like 1 point something, we would need to check. So, and unless you have a very huge legacy project, you're not going to do that. So yeah, that's going to work for sure. Awesome. Moving on to the next one. I see. Can we deploy Botsociety chatbot on our website? Right now, you can use Rasa to do that or Dialogflow, and I'm not going to talk more about this topic now. Maybe in the future. Can bot greet welcome message to the user?
I think it's the bot activating the conversation. Yeah, Nimit, it can. You can just like design in a different format, or think about the bot is starting the conversation, but proactively sending a message to the user and stuff. I don't think it's through Botsociety would be another service to do that, to proactively the bot start a conversation. But you can design a conversation where the bot is starting the conversation, but it's just you thinking or envisioning that the bot is starting the conversation.
Yeah. What about retrieval intents like FAQ and chit chat? Should I pick this one up?
Yep.
So this is basically what you would do after the export. So the export allows you to take the data that you've entered in the design and then use Rasa to train the Rasa natural language processing understanding engine to do what you call intent retrieval. So basically, given what the user is saying, figuring out what the intent is. So I'm not sure what you mean exactly with end-to-end training, because we had some users who were thinking about end-to-end training in the same way they were thinking about end-to-end testing for web apps and mobile apps, which is a slightly different topic. If it's what I mean, so like training your whole bot on all the possible intents, that's how you would start building your Rasa files to do that. I think I finished did I finish the questions?
Yeah, I think we cover most of them. There's one latest question which is about, can we use buttons, image cards, and carousels?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So yes, there's the short answer. You can use buttons. If you use buttons, Rasa will have a way of formatting them, and we export it that way. Same thing if you're saying designing for Messenger and you're exporting to Rasa, since Rasa has kind of a standard way of supporting Messenger. Where it can get a little bit more complicated to set up, but it's possible, is when you want to support a platform that Rasa does not support out of the box. So, for example, let's say you want to design a SMS chatbot. That's great. Rasa supports Twilio or whatever. The format is clear. You want to, design a Messenger chatbot. Rasa supports it out of the box. So there's already kind of a standard way of formatting, say, a carousel, like you mentioned. So that works out of the box. Let's say that you want to use Rasa to deploy your own custom voice chatbot that has a crazy carousel with 3 images. That's also possible, but that needs a little bit more of a setup. In particular, you'll need to use the export maps features of Botsociety in order to map, for example, a special message type like a special carousel to Rasa. This gets technical fast, but if you're interested, write us after this, and we can link you to documentation and everything.
All right, Vittorio, I think this is all. There is one last question before you go, which
Sure.
I think is interesting. It's from Yasmini as well. It's about, it generates only stories, or it can also generate rules as well.
Yeah, so Rasa rules are a way to kind of overriding stories and the intent structure. Again, you should listen to the Rasa folks about this because this is pure Rasa stuff. Okay, so but those are rules are kind of like a manual override, and their suggestion is to use as few rules as possible. Like if you go into documentation, like the feature Rasa documentation, it says just don't use rules if you can not use them. So by default, what we do is we just set you up with a default rule for the fallback, and that's it. If you need more rules, you can write them later after you exported your Rasa bot. And the reason is, again, like we're trying to follow the best practices that the Rasa folks outline in their website.
All right. So I guess this is it, everybody. So I think we're on top of the time. Thank you for everybody to join this event. We're going to have another one, I think, in 2 weeks. For now, if you'd like to check this out and sign up for this event, I'm going to leave the link here on the chat so you can sign up later. But the next one, it's going to be about, if my computer doesn't freeze, I guess. The next one is going to be about how to, where is that? How to design reusable components and create a design system using Botsociety. So if you'd like to sign up for that, I'm going to leave the link below here. And I think that's it, Vittorio.
Thank you for having me, Kai, and thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. See you in the next one.